I'll get into a bit of an exercise about where the power is. It's a really good exercise, and then and it's going to allow you to understand where you're placing the power in something that is not creating in the way that you want. Yeah. So what I would love everyone to really get and write it down is what is a creation that is stuck? What is something that is stuck? So what is something you're trying to create that is stuck? Yeah. So I'd like you just to write that down. Maybe it's a business you're trying to create, a health creation that is stuck, or some art, something that's just not manifesting in the way you want it to manifest. Okay. So I just want you to write that down, and I'm just going to now share the screen of the notes, but you don't need the notes. I'm going to guide you through it. So what's stuck? What's a creation that's stuck? And just pick one. What are you trying to achieve, and how is it stuck? Okay, so what is stuck? What are you trying to achieve, and how is it stuck? Just acknowledge that and write that down for me real quick. Just one thing. It's going to show you enough by just using one. You don't need more than one for the exercise. It's just one. So what is the stuck creation? What are you trying to achieve? How is it stuck? Okay. So what do you think about it? What do you think about it? So what's stuck? What do you think about it? So it's stuck because this, and I think like, oh, it's frustrating, or I think it should be easier, or I think I'm not doing something, or there's something I'm missing, or what do you think about it? Yeah, the crowded, the market is crowded. Yeah, so you can type in the chat box or just write it down. It doesn't matter which way. Next question, how does it feel to be in this stuck structure? How does it feel to be in this stuck structure? Yeah. Nice. How does it feel? So in this structure, so how do you define yourself? So I define myself in this structure as hopeless, or as frustrated, or as not good enough. How do I define myself as, and that means what? So please fill in that sentence. I define myself in this structure as incompetent, and that means I'm never going to get it, or as I define myself as not smart enough. And what does that mean? So I define myself as too old, too young, not good enough at technology, not that, whatever. Yeah, something I need to improve. I define myself as a work in progress, and I need to improve X. Yeah, I don't know enough. I define myself as still learning, and that means I can't launch my business. Yeah. So how do you define others? So I define others in this structure as, and what does that mean? I define others in this structure as, so I define others as more capable. Define others as having it all together. I define others as smarter than me, as lucky, talented, more pretty, more beautiful, more this, more that. I define others as stronger, can handle emotions better. How do you define others? And what does that mean? So if you define others like that, what does it mean? How do you define the world? I define the world in this structure as hard, as difficult, as against me. Many people are defining the world at the moment as chaos. I define the world as, and what does that mean? Unsafe, uncertain. If you turn on your social media, the world's a chaotic place, but most of us, if we walk down our street and look around, it's a happy place. So I define the world as, and what does that mean? Yeah. And what does that mean? And just write down what comes to you, please. If you're all in on the work, obviously, you don't have to do anything. Okay, so if you've written down, the stuck structure, what you think about it, how it feels, how you define yourself, others, and the world. Just observe everything you've written down. Okay. So the next question is all of that. What is your unconscious assuming is true in this structure? So are you assuming that you'll never have it? Are you assuming that you must heal or fix or change? What is it assuming? Are you assuming you're not smart enough? Are you assuming that people are going to let you down, rip you off? What are you assuming? If you look at everything that you've just written down, I want you to look at it and go, what am I assuming is true? What are you assuming is true? So I'm not organized enough, someone has written in. And so that means that, what does that mean? If you're assuming you're not organized enough, you're assuming there's something you must change about yourself. If you're assuming I'm not going to make it happen, you're assuming you don't have it. If you're assuming you're going to fail because the system will block me, you're assuming you don't have the power, or you're assuming the world is against you, Ralph. Yeah. Thanks, Deborah. So if you lost it once and lose it again, what are you assuming, Jerry? So you're assuming that it's pointless because you're just going to lose it, right? You're assuming you don't have the ability to hold on to it. Ronald, I'm assuming I can never change. So what are you assuming, that you're stuck this way forever? Yeah, that's right, Shannon. Yeah, everyone else is normal and knows how to get it, and so you're assuming that you're a victim or you're broken. Yeah. Nice. Julia's saying, I assume I need someone else to approve my work. So you're assuming that you don't have authority in your life. You need someone else to say, well done, which is number 6. Yeah. Is it helping me? I'm giving coaching to people here. Yeah. Yeah. Daniel's assuming that it's up to me, which is assuming that you're not allowed to be helped, maybe. Yeah. Maybe it's a good assumption. Kendra's assuming it's going to take time. Nice. Oop, don't know what happened there, Jenny. A lot of brackets. So, can we all agree, as we read through what others have written, is that we're assuming that we don't have the power to create it. And we don't trust ourselves. So we're assuming that there's something we must fix, do, improve, heal, become. There's something. See, we're assuming. Do you see how that, in the stuck structure, we're assuming the wound to be true and that we need to fix it. just get a raise hands or some yeses if you're getting that? We're assuming that the wound is stopping us. Right? We're assuming we don't have it. We're assuming we can't just create the way we want it. And many don't like this, but we're kind of assuming there's something broken, right? There's something not that needs to be fixed first before we can go and have it. So we're assuming there's conditions or circumstances that haven't been met yet, that if we could just meet those, then we would be able to have it. Does that make sense? So we're assuming that in this structure, Elaine, right? But in a stuck structure, every stuck structure is because of an assumption that we can't have what we want the way we are. Someone write that down. It's really important you viscerally get that. The assumption is you cannot have what you want the way you are. That's the assumption. So how do you deal with your assumption? How do you deal with it? Overthink, go to a course like this, get a book, give up, change ideas, gossip, talk, procrastinate, blame others, give the power to someone else and expect them to create for you, change plans. Like, how do you deal with this assumption? Let me know. How do you deal with whatever assumption? What do you do? Try to just ignore it. Yeah, back up, ignore it. Yeah. Recode it. I get sick. Do nothing. Ask for others to help. Yeah. Look for new ways to overcome it. Yeah. So notice, can everyone notice that how we deal with that assumption, can you see that by dealing with the assumption, whatever you write down, you're dealing with it. You're down here. You see that? Worry, giving up, recode, anger, changing ideas. Can you see that you're dealing with this wound, this assumption? Someone give me a yes if you're getting it. Do you see how that's what you're doing? You're down here dealing with it. And as you're dealing with it, you're not writing the book, going on dates, building the house. You're not doing that. You're dealing with it. Do you see that? So you get caught down here. But it feels like you're doing something, right? It feels like, no, I really need the healing. I really need I'm frustrated. I'm this and that. I need to talk about it. I need to chat. You hear though? You see that, yeah? You're here. And that's why it's stuck. That's why it's stuck. So you get caught down there. So do you really believe what you're telling yourself? Do you really believe this? Just look at what you've written down, your assumption. Do you really, in heart of hearts, yes or no, do you really believe that this is true about you, that you don't have it in you? Huh? Do you really believe that? Yeah. You don't really believe it, do you? You don't really believe that you don't have it in you to create a life you love. Like, if you really think with it, if you really truthfully believe that that's it. Or if I sit in that and close my eyes and ask, do I really believe that? Behind it, I don't really believe it. It's just this little game that I'm playing. So it's just, do you really believe it? Drop down into the emotion of, do you really believe this assumption? So if you stay in this assumption and stay dealing with it that way, what is the end result of that? What is the end result? Someone let me know. If you stay dealing with it that way, the way you've always done it with that assumption, what is the end result? More of the same, yeah. So here's a question unrelated to the above. What is something that you just love to create, right? Unrelated to the above. Like what is something you love to create? I love to create amazing basketball coaching. I love to coach for a basketball team. I love to create a really fun golf game. I love to create that. Like, I love it. I invite friends to my club. Like, I love that. What is something you just love to create? A garden. Right? I love to create a webinar. I love it. I would love to create a training or a webinar. I absolutely love it. What is something you love to create? A podcast, dancing. Yeah, what is something you love to create? You could just go. I love, a bunch of mates down for a over for dinner. A house party. Do you love to create art? Do you love to create poetry? Do you love to create, what do you love? Music, yeah. Intuitive art, nice. Humor amongst people. Food. Healthy food, beautiful. What is something you love? Could everyone write down what is something you just love to create? Travel. You love to create travel. Like, you could go and create a holiday travel. Yeah, vacation. Yeah. What do you love to create? Yeah. Coaching kids. Yeah, spending a special moment with your kids. Teaching. Okay, write down a few things you just love to create that you create with ease. Camping trip. Yeah. Awesome. What's something you love to build or create? Yeah. Okay, just for a second, just close your eyes. Just for a second, close your eyes and step into the end result of creating something you love. Just pick one, a special meal, travel, vacation, art, poetry, music, time with your kids. Just close your eyes right now and envision that creation. And just envision it, notice it, put a smile on your face and become it. And just notice it, really become it. Like, enjoy the moment. Imagine you've created that moment, whether it's a garden, a walk in nature, an amazing moment with your friend. Just create it. Now, notice when you're in this end result, what do you think about it? What is your definition of yourself when you're in this? What are you assuming? Just notice how you are when you're a creator. Just notice how you are when you're creating, whether it's woodwork or poetry or sport or fun time with your friends or gardening. What is obvious about you as a creator? So open your eyes and come back and let's light up the chat box. When you're creating, what is it that you think about yourself? What do you think about others? How do you feel? What are you assuming? What do you assume? Break it down. What do you think? What do you feel? Where's your focus? Where's your focus when you're in the creative orientation? Where's your focus? What are you focused on? So let me ask you this. Is anyone here focused on any of these questions? How many have got no answers to this? Chris, I'm just in it. Who's got that? Who's getting it? I'm just in it, Chris. I don't know what I'm thinking or feeling. I'm just in it. I'm just doing it. Someone type in a yes if it's true. I'm just doing it. And what's interesting is some of the things you're writing in, like art and poetry and camping trips and vacations and time with family and hosting people for meals, are really complicated creations. So what's the difference between you creating art or poetry or sport? What's the difference between that and the thing that's stuck? Your orientation, stupid. So what if you were in this orientation? So get into this orientation as you're there. Get into it. Really feel it. Be it, right? Really be in how you are when you're creating that camping trip or that meal. What would it be like? Just close your eyes, step into that feeling, that assumption, being it, being the creator. Just get that feeling back in your body. You're just creating that camping trip, that vacation, that just you create that woodwork, that art. Just you can create it. Like when I'm going to create a webinar, really, you just get in that feeling. What if you apply this way of being to the stuck creation? What if you apply this way of being to the stuck creation? What changes? Open your eyes and let me know. When you apply this, orientation to the stuck creation, what changes? Just look at that chat box. It's not just you. Every single one of us, including me, including you, we are the ones that have the ability to create. We have the ability to be stuck. It's not the creation, it's your orientation to it. Isn't that fascinating? So let's just choose to really live this orientation, right? Ronald likes that. We'll put it on a bumper sticker. It's your orientation, stupid. The other bumper is structure is the new sexy and maniac on a mission. We'll have to get a few stickers, I think. So, why don't we just live that structure? Well, let me tell you a quick monkey story. See, in the 70s, there was a really interesting experiment that they'd never do again, but it's useful and we can get some learnings from some monkeys that had to sacrifice themselves a bit for our gain. And what they did is they put 5 monkeys into a cage, and what they did is they opened the top of the cage and they put a pole, and on top of the cage they put some berries. Okay, and those berries, it was open, and so of course the 5 monkeys, they thought, oh, cage, pole, ladder, going to climb up and get it. But what they did is they rigged the whole cage so that any time a monkey touched that pole or ladder, that it would freeze and spray cold water on all of the monkeys, right? It would freeze it, okay? And as it freezes them, they obviously hate it, so they would realize really quickly that by touching the pole, they get frozen with cold water, okay? So here's what they did, is any time a monkey went close to that pole to go get the berries, right, is all the other monkeys would run, beat up, scratch, claw, yell at that monkey, basically saying, don't freeze us with water, you selfish so-and-so. And so eventually, no monkey would touch the pole. The scientists could leave it open no matter what, and no monkeys got frozen with water. So here's where it gets interesting, guys. Lean into this. They replaced one of the monkeys. So they brought in a new monkey. Okay, so as you would imagine, new monkey sees some food, sees a pole, looks around at these other bozos, goes, why aren't you guys going and getting that? Goes over to the pole. As soon as it gets close to the pole, the other 4 monkeys, they go over there, they yell at it, they scream, they pull, they scratch, they tell it off. No cold water gets sprayed. This monkey learned to not touch the pole because it doesn't want to beat it. Now here's where it gets interesting even more. They replaced a second monkey. The second monkey gets replaced. So again, it's going to go to this pole, to this ladder, to go in to get the berries. Now, the monkey that was first replaced monkey that never got sprayed with cold water joins in on the beating. Even though it has no idea what the beating's about or what it's for, because it never got frozen with cold water, it joins in the beating. And then they replace all the monkeys. So now there's 5 monkeys in there. None of them have been frozen with cold water. They all don't touch the pole and will attack or beat any monkey that goes near the pole. Someone type in a wow if you're getting it. And they won't. They all learned the behavior. Then they changed. Then those monkeys had babies. So now these are children of monkeys who have no idea why you should touch the pole. And the monkeys continue the behavior. And I bet if you ask them, why don't we touch the pole? Why don't you just go there? Look at that amazing fruit. The enclosure's open. And they'd make up some story, some narrative, like, well, that's just the way we've always done it. The ancients told us you don't touch the pole. Maybe it becomes taboo or bad. So what's fascinating is we're not very different to monkeys. And I think many of us are raised by monkeys who have no idea why they do the things that they're doing. Right? Someone type in those damn monkeys. Because if you're like me and you grew up around some monkeys, those damn monkeys, you grew up around some monkeys and you have no idea, they don't even know why they're doing it. Someone type in those damn monkeys because they don't even know. It's not their fault. They don't even know why they're not just climbing a different ladder. They don't even know. They have no idea. It was just taught to them. So they just continued in that same structure. And monkeys. And so I feel like I grew up around some monkeys, and honestly, if I sat them down, I said, why are you doing the things that you're doing? Here's one thing: I have no idea why they do what they do. How many of you grew up around monkeys that feel it's a good idea to get mad, annoyed, pissed off at things that aren't working for them? Right? I know I did. Right? If things aren't working, you yell about it, you talk about it, you get annoyed, you get frustrated. So just do this for me. Grab something on your desk, okay? Because this is what I was taught by some monkeys, right? Grab something on your desk, something inanimate like a pen like this, okay? This is what I got taught. So I want you to grab this pen and just read, or your pen. Obviously, you can't grab my pen. This is mine. You get something. I want you to get this, okay? And I want you just to really acknowledge the pen and like outline it in your mind. And then as you outline it, I want you to resist that it exists. I want you to resist it so much, like, oh, I want you to resist its existence. Like, get annoyed at it. Put your diaphragm into it, like your lower back. Like, actually put your lower lumbar into it. Really resist. Oh, I hate you, pen. Why are you here? Pick something up off your desk, and I want you to resist it and keep resisting it until either it evaporates or you give up. It's a magnetic mind intelligence test. But it's still there, yeah? Did anyone get it to evaporate? It's still there. See, here's what I got taught, right? We get taught by a lot of things. Here's what I got taught by a parent. If your current reality isn't the way you want it, oh, I'm so sick of the amount of money in my bank account. Oh, I'm so fucking frustrated at that. Oh my God, I can't believe I don't love it. But it's still there. See, one of the things I got taught by some monkeys who have no idea why is that getting annoyed or frustrated at how things are is useful. Doesn't it feel a bit useful? Doesn't it feel useful? Like we feel, oh, well, at least I'm doing something because I'm annoyed at it. But did it make a bloody difference? Even those of you who threw the pen to the other side of the room, it's still there. It didn't evaporate. And so what we've got to realize is that those damn monkeys, right? We got taught some things that just simply don't make any sense. Why would you waste energy getting annoyed at how it is? It's still how it is. Why would you waste the energy? True, why would you waste the energy? But we all got taught to it. And you got to wonder, what else do we get taught that makes absolutely no sense? Right? Like, if you think about it, it's just waste of energy. And so those damn monkeys, all of us have to really get this, right? Is that we've got programming and that's there that doesn't even make sense. And so I realized that I needed to change my beliefs. That led me to a conclusion that I was taught, right? Oops, what's happened here? And the conclusion was that I needed to fix or change myself. So I did every course I could, okay? You name it, I did it. I don't even put them all on a page anymore. Results came, but it was a war. I felt like I was doing the right thing. I created success, then I lost it. Felt like a victim. And I thought there must be something wrong with me. Where did I get that belief, I wonder? Right? Everywhere in society. So I got annoyed, pissed off, upset, went back to work. Failure was an option. Built it back to 2 million and lost it all again. I could never hold on to what I wanted. And I realized I was the common denominator. I needed to fix myself. So I realized my unconscious was working against me and nothing was easy. And so there I am, fighting away with myself. So your unconscious has a goal. And it's got a goal to keep you alive. It has no other goal. The unconscious learns how to be at an early age, like an accent. And the unconscious goal is just to make sure that you survive. See that beautiful little kid that you met? He's completely vulnerable. He has to have us take care of him, which is probably true for it's absolutely true for all of us and all animals, but even more important for humans is that we need to make sure we're loved by those around us to take care of us. And so what we do is we adopt the beliefs and ways of being of those that need to care for us. Does that make sense? Because we want to fit in. Who's getting it? We have to fit in. If not, we're not going to get taken care of. And so the unconscious learns how to fit with its monkeys, right? Those damn monkeys, right? And so we learn how to survive in that system. We take on those beliefs. Life is hard. This is that. Get annoyed. Kids should be seen, not heard. We take it on. However, we need to survive our family and our birth order and our societal situation. And whenever we survive, we realize we don't die from it, which is pretty obvious, but what happens is as soon as we survive it, our unconscious wants more of it. And guess what, guys? It's unconscious. It's not conscious. You don't know you're doing this. But your unconscious consistently creates the same world again and again and again and again and again. And then the more that you try to fix it, the more you get stuck. We know this with lotto winners. People who win the lottery end up worse off. In fact, over 70% end up broke, even though they won the lottery, won all the money. 16% of NFL players and a huge percentage of NBA players who make hundreds of thousands of dollars minimum. In fact, it's $900,000 minimum to get an NBA contract. Those damn monkeys. How do you get a $900,000 a year contract and end up broke? Right? The programming is what's right there. See, so you know, why does this happen? It's because the unconscious has an agenda to find its way back to where it's always been. Those damn monkeys. So here it is on a bumper sticker. It's a long bumper sticker, right? Is that the unconscious is the way it is for a really good reason, is to keep you alive and to survive. However, when your superconscious and your consciousness is ready to finally let go of this, you find a way to outprogram it into mastery. Does that make sense, everyone? Who thinks it's quite strange how you've made your way into this work? Out of all the places you could be, and all the books you could read, and all the webinars that you could have gone to, you're here learning this in this way from me now, right? You're supposed to be here. Your unconscious is ready to let it go. Is it true? There's so many things that you get shown and look at, but this is what it is. And if you feel it, like you know, it's that your unconscious has learned this way of being. It's not against you, it's for you. Does that make sense? Your unconscious is for you. It is trying to keep you alive and create these safety patterns. And we're going to talk about those wounds in just a second. So when I looked at this, I realized that we find a threat to our way of being, which is to be left behind by our monkeys. Okay? We must fit in with those monkeys. So we must just go with whatever they believe. We can't be the only one that keeps going to climb the pole. Does that make sense? We can't, because then we're going to get beaten to death. Does that make sense? And so whenever there's a threat, the threat is I'm not going to get fed unless these humans like me, right? Who's with me? And so we have to stay in that. And so I asked, like, why is it that no one's changing? And then obviously I got this from the billionaire, and he's an amazing dude. And he told me in 2018, he asked me not to ever share his name, but man, it's just I'm so grateful to have this information. And he said to me, you need a coach, right? It's the best thing you'll ever do is to do this. Personal development is broken, not you. You're actually super conscious. And that's the most important thing. He said, Chris, if you can treat the original pain, which is basically let it go, then you can live in a new way. I realized everything I was doing was not it, and I realized I needed to recreate how I reoriented to the world. So I realized, and I want to slow down for this, is that my identity would have to die. My identity would have to die. That would allow me to finally let go of that problem structure and live the creative structure. Okay? So you will never see it until you be it. Being it is to be super conscious. So let's get into these superpowers, shall we? Let's really understand where this is. But I just want to check in with all of you. Some of you have heard this before. You getting it? Yeah. So you can change, you can let it go, and recode is the best thing I've seen on the planet. Who's done recode before? You know, recode is so crucial. But today we're going to talk about mastery. Okay? And today we're going to be in this level of how you're going to make a quantum jump of your life, right? So let's get into these superpowers, okay? Because gosh, it made a big difference for me. So who'd be in for a big quantum jump in their life, right? Like really, because if you follow the steps, quantum jump is a thing that can happen really fast. And a quantum jump, I think I put the description in here. A quantum jump, backed up by physics. Where is it? Did I put it? Yeah, is an abrupt transition from one energy state to another. And so you can quantum jump. You can literally leave behind the way you've been in a minute. And there's 4 C's of conscious creating. Someone write these down. Yeah. is an abrupt transition from one energy state to another. And so you can quantum jump. You can literally leave behind the way you've been in a minute. And there's 4 C's of conscious creating. Someone write these down. The first C is clarity of intention. We've been talking about that today. The second C is commitment, right? It can't just be a wish or a dream. It must be a choice. Say, this is it. The next C is courage, to let go of your past. And the last is capability. Your capability will show up, right, when you just choose to live it. These notes are all in your training portal that was sent with the book. It's on email. If you didn't get it, reach out and send an email back, and we'll make sure you've got your logins, okay? But it was sent to everyone. Well, you know how technology is. Okay, so if you're courageous enough to let go of who you've been, then you can make it happen. So, quick recap is your unconscious wants to create what it knows it wants to survive. Does that make sense? Like, quick recap is your unconscious isn't against you, it just wants to survive, okay? Next, structure creates reality. The structure that you're in. And the way we know what structure we're in is the behavior that we're taking. Okay, that's how we know. There are the 2 structures here, right? Structure creates results and is a system of 2 or more points. Change the structure, change the action, which is what we're doing. And you're definitely not broken. Your unconscious wound holds your superpower. So, this is how you release your superpower, which we're going through today. Okay? How you release your superpower, which we're going through today. Okay? So, now let's get into all of these amazing superpowers and wounds. So, everyone feeling good? Who's enjoying today? It's been a lot. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground. It's almost like I'm recapping a 200-page book or something. Yeah, I am excited actually. Thanks for recognizing that. I'm really excited about this. It feels, Mastery 2.0, which we're starting in a couple weeks, which all of you should be in. It just feels so much in my heart to be passing this education across, because I feel even more that I'm doing this more and more for others and less for me. And the more that I do it for others, the more it fills me up with just this energy of, I don't know, if anyone's truly felt their purpose before, like really, and you go, yeah, I've been sharing this stuff for 6 years, and somehow I'm still absolutely so committed to as many people living super consciously and just creating magic. It's quite a great feeling actually. So I'm just so grateful for all of you, really. And so the first wound that holds a superpower is the wound of I'm not